What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and today we got a brand new Overwatch lore drop, this time, without a shadow of a doubt, teasing a new upcoming hero. A new hero this time who we haven't particularly seen or heard of before, a relative newcomer, though they are linked to a familiar faction, that hero being Domina, which is actually kind of surprising that they've revealed her name already. Granted, they did it in a very weird sort of way where it was just kind of mentioned in the description of the voiced over JPEG that they released for this storytime reveal. But either way, there is a ton of evidence to suggest that this is a upcoming hero, probably even the next upcoming hero, if I had to hazard a guess. So let's go ahead and jump right on in and talk about it. Real quick before we jump in though, I would like to mention that I will be co-streaming the Overwatch Spotlight on Wednesday on both my Twitch and YouTube channels, so be sure to tune in for the watch party, getting to see all the reveals happen live. It's going to be an exciting time, so you won't want to miss out. Alright, now getting into it. So, for today's lore drop, Blizzard gave us yet another voiced over JPEG, this time showing a meeting between Vendetta and a character we haven't seen before, that being Vera Singhania, or as I mentioned before, Domina, who is a very high-ranking executive in Vishkar. Now, this interaction was sort of set up in the previous lore drop, where we had Vendetta confronting Maximilian, and in that, Maximilian mentioned that Vishkar was in a tough situation, thus seemingly leading Vendetta to meet with Domina. During this interaction, we see the two observing a chariot race, with Domina mysteriously obscured by shadow, as is typical when teasing a new hero prior to their reveal, with their conversation focusing on Domina's allegiance to Talon. Vendetta brings up everything Maximilian had talked about with Vishkar's struggles, and uses that as leverage to try to win over Domina and Vishkar's loyalty to Talon. It ultimately ends with the two agreeing to a partnership, giving very strong indications that this character is going to be not only a Vishkar hero, but also a Talon hero in working with Vendetta, which, again, is just a major indicator that Domina herself is likely to be the upcoming hero. Now, let's talk a bit about Domina herself. Who or what exactly is she going to be as a playable hero? Well, during the conversation between the two, Vendetta mentions how Vishkar has been supplying her gladiators with shielding technology, but proposes that said shielding technology would perhaps be better utilized by Talon. So definitely there's a big theme of shielding here, which I think is a heavy indicator as for what Domina is going to do as a hero. And if we look at Domina's design, while she is certainly obscured by shadow and we don't have a great image of what exactly she looks like, we do see these larger sort of things behind her. Maybe these are just part of the background, maybe they're just supposed to be whatever chair she's sitting in, but I can't help but feel like these are somehow part of her character, meaning that her in-game model as a playable hero is going to in some way feature these large wing-like things on the sides. And shielding technology in combination with a bulky character design strongly gives me the impression that she is going to be a tank hero, which would also line up with the fact that tank is the role we've gone the longest without a new hero for. So, is Domina going to be the next new hero addition, fully revealed during Spotlight on Wednesday, as a villainous Talon Vishkar shield tank? I find it to be pretty likely. Now, this does unfortunately not bode well for old Sanjay, who at the very least was name dropped in this story piece, but as I'd kind of suspected based on the way they regarded him in the previous lore drop with Maximilian, it seems like Sanjay is basically just a story stepping stone to bring Vishkar kind of back into the picture a bit, specifically with regards to Talon, in order to actually introduce and add Domina. I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed on that front. I've been a huge fan of Sanjay for years, but I am curious to see what they do with this other character instead. Domina definitely has a controlling older businesswoman type vibe, very reminiscent of the administrator from TF2, I have to say, which is a really funny comparison to make for an Overwatch hero. And while I can't say that I'm overall gung-ho about this type of character being added, particularly as a tank hero, I am curious to see what Blizzard does with it. I don't know, we'll have to see what her actual abilities and interactions and whatnot in-game end up being, but certainly, if nothing else, it feels like this is going to be a very different sort of hero edition, at least character-wise, since we don't have a ton of older women characters in the game. I mean, obviously we have Ana, who's like the older woman character, and while we don't know Domina's actual age just yet, it does seem like she's probably closer to Ana's age than she is most of the other female characters. So again, something a bit different. Interesting to see, and I am very curious to see what they do with her character. Another quick note though, before I wrap up this video, apparently Domina was actually previously teased leading up to this point with this little plaque visible on the Kings Row Stadium map, where we get a little plaque mentioning proudly sponsored by the Singhania family and Vishkar Corporation for one of the statues present. So definitely this is a character that Blizzard has had in the works for a bit, and even gave us a little early teaser here, before now they're building up her actual introduction and her reveal as a new hero being Domina. But on that note, I would love to hear your thoughts on Domina in the comments down below. Are you interested in learning more about this character, seeing what all her kit and abilities entail? Or maybe, like me, you're just a little bit disappointed that we didn't get Sanjay. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and as always, be sure to subscribe, hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch 2 news streams and other content. Special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible, and if you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. And otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.